In this session, we will focus on the 21st century skill, skilled communication. Communication is at the heart of all human interaction. In the 21st century, developing technologies have created new opportunities for communication that is spoken, written, visual or multimodal, in print or digital forms, and with broader reach and fewer barriers than ever before. Digital capture and publication of even informal communications mean that those products persist longer and disseminate farther than ever before. The need for effective communication is no longer confined to language classes and journalism careers. It is important for students in all areas of academic study to be able to communicate clearly and persuasively with a variety of audiences and subjects. In this session, we don't focus on informal classroom talk, whether face-to-face or electronic. Instead, we focus on activities that require students to articulate their ideas in a permanent form, such as a presentation, a podcast, a written document, a performance, or an email. Let's take a closer look at each aspect of skilled communication. It requires extended communication. It's multimodal. It requires supporting evidence. It's designed for a particular audience. Now let's learn a little more about each of these. Extended communication is required when students must produce communication that represents a set of connected ideas, not a single simple thought. In written work, extended communication is the equivalent of one or more complete paragraphs, rather than a sentence or phrase. In electronic or visual media, extended communication might take the form of a sequence of videos, a podcast, or a page of a presentation that connects or illustrates several ideas. A single text message or tweet is not extended communication. If students are engaged in electronic communication, this is only considered extended communication if it produces an outcome that requires students to connect the ideas they discussed. Communication is multimodal when it includes more than one type of communication mode or tool used to communicate a coherent message. For example, students might create a presentation that integrates video and text, or embed a photograph into a blog post. The communication is considered multimodal only if the elements work together to produce a stronger message than any one element alone. If the learning activity offers students the opportunity to choose the tool or tools they will use to communicate, we consider it to be a multimodal communication opportunity. Communication requires supporting evidence when students must explain their ideas or support their thesis with facts or examples. A thesis is a claim, hypothesis, or conclusion. Students must have a thesis when they are asked to state a point of view, make a prediction, or draw a conclusion from a set of facts or a chain of logic. The communication requires evidence if students must describe their reasoning or provide supporting facts or examples. The evidence should be sufficient to support the claim that the student is making. Students are required to design their communication for a particular audience when they must ensure that their communication is appropriate to the specific readers, listeners, viewers, or others with whom they are communicating. It is not sufficient for students to be communicating to a general audience on the internet. They must have in mind a specific group with specific needs in order to shape their communication appropriately. When they are communicating with a particular audience, students must select the tools, content, or style that they use to reach the audience.